So before I put my glue on it, I just wanted to let you have a little look about how I have my blocks set up. Now they may or may not be in the same position you need to set yours up. So, and get your block out to the edge. Just get it flush with the edge. If you move one back a little bit, probably won't hurt nothing if you bump it, but but that's sort of how you'll have to have yours set up. Maybe a little bit different, and I'll probably move mine to 3 more times, but then what we're going to do is just like before, we're going to set our books up on top there, but we'll really stack the books on it this time, because it's amazing how much these little pipe clamps, how much, I mean, we'll probably stack 50 pounds of books on top there, or I will, just to get the same effect as 13 of those little pipe clamps will do. So I'll be right back in just a minute, and I'll show you how to apply your glue, and we'll go ahead and get this side glued on. Just to add, you're probably thinking, well, if I dry fit those sides on there, how am I going to get those off? Well, the easiest way is just if you made a big enough sound hole, you can just take your finger and put it down through there and push it out. But if you didn't, you can just put a thin blade down in the gap and pop it out. Okay, so I can't get that camera to be in the perfect place, so I'll just leave it right there for now as I glue this up, and I'll just pick the camera up, or the dulcimer up, put it up to the camera to show you what I've done after I've done it. But you need to run your bead of glue about the same as thickness that I've showed you on everything else that we've done. And I put it right in the corner when I run the glue bottle down through there. I put it right in the corner of the curve where the kerfing joins the soundboard or the back, whichever one you may be doing. So you can see right at the I actually put it down right at my slot in the peg head and the tailpiece, so that when the I slide the sides into those slots, it presses the glue in with it, kind of spreads it as it presses it in. But that's about how I do the glue on it. Now let me turn it around here. And just, there's no magic wand to get the side on other than to do it the same way that you did when you dry fitted it. Just start it in one end. I like starting it in the tailpiece first because of that steeper curve up there of the bout, and then I'll press it into the peg head. Then I start from the peg head end and I go back toward the tailpiece, and then it'll kind of just, I don't know if you've seen that or heard that, but it'll kind of just pop like it's a spring, and it'll kind of spring into the slot the way it's supposed to. So I've got it in there. Now, before it gets really dry, I'm gonna put my little blocks up here. You don't have to be in extreme hurry, but you need to. That's the reason it'd be best if you could do you a couple dry runs of what you're going to do. Just practice it a couple times. Especially if you're going to do this book method like I'm doing, practice it a couple of times so that you don't have to think about what you're doing when you get ready to do it. So I've got my glue done, I got my blocks on. Now I'm going to start doing the books. So I'm going to turn these crossways. I'll let most of the overhang hang out this side. Well, that's not going to help me none. I'll turn it this way. So before I put any more books on, I'm going to reach across. I'm going to hold that dulcimer from the back side so it don't slide. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to press make sure my sides is up, try to get them up against the kerfing really good all the way down. Got a few spots that it wasn't up against really good. So now I'll put me some more weight on it. And I'll give it another check. Usually after you get a little more weight or clamping pressure on it, when you push them back in there, they'll stay, especially after the glue kind of gets tacky a little bit. But it's looking better and better. Got one little place down here. So that's pretty much it. If you see a little problem area, maybe I've got enough weight on this now to where I can press in on the sides, and unless I put a crazy amount of pressure, it won't slide. So if you have a problem area, it wouldn't take but a few minutes, but hold it in, a little while until you. Sorry, I've been doing all that video and not actually letting you see what's going on. But as you can see, everything looks pretty good. You'll have a little bit of glue to squeeze out here and there. But overall it looks pretty good, except one little place right there. Right down there at the bottom I see a little gap, but that's not bad at all. Still not fitting in perfectly, but I think it's acceptable all the way down. Let me see if I can get you a shot down the edge. But like I say, it would I would be more pleased if it was the clamps. That's the great thing about the clamps, is if you've only got a little problem spot a 1/2 inch wide, you can zero in on that with the clamps and take care of that. So you could put your standard clamps on there every 2 to 3 inches apart, and then as you looked over it and you see one little problem area, maybe if it's just that much, you can say, well, I'll put me a clamp there. So that's all we got to do now on that's all of attaching the sides. I hope that helped you, and I hope you have a successful time of putting the sides on. So next when we come back, we've already done, or I've already showed you step 13, the gluing the scroll buttons on. I was going to combine the scroll buttons and the glue the overlays, but when we come back, the next one we'll glue the overlays, and that'll be, we'll probably do the glue overlays and which is step 12, and sand and apply the finish, which is step 14. So that'll be, we're coming to a close on it. We're almost ready to put the finish on. So I'll show you what it looks like next round. Later, y'all.